I don't know. I don't know how long demo is. All right, we're recording. Let me put that there. Okay.
Oh, that's loud already.
Oh, game loud?
Game loud. I just turned it down on my end.
Okay, good. All right. Let's go ahead and,
Alrighty.
new game.
Ooh, mature warning.
Horror, graphic violence, strong language,
Nice.
alcohol, and drug references.
No
Injury
sexual content.
and...
Damn it.
Wait, there's no sexual... Oh.
Yeah, there's no sexual content warning.
Damn.
I cry.
Maybe just for the demo?
Maybe.
You accept
So
the content.
there's dismemberment in the demo.
There is dismemberment.
Let's go.
Yeah. In Touchstarved, your choices matter. The decisions you make may result in unique dialogue interactions or even choices in red text which contain exclusive content. Try playing through the demo more than once and choosing different options. You might even uncover a secret ending. And remember, there are no wrong choices, only interesting ones. Choose wisely and save often.
So red equals good.
Red equals good. Left click, progress text dialogue. Mouse wheel up to rewind text and dialogue. Mouse wheel down to progress text and dialogue. Spacebar, hide the UI. Spacebar again, bring it back. I'll activate skip mode, okay. Oh
my god.
Name.
Can
we conjoin our names somehow?
Valorant?
What is it? How do my
Valorant.
That?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's that or Sordus.
Yeah, no, I'm good with Valorant.
Valorant.
Choose your pronouns.
They, them, I guess, maybe? Or do we want to go he, him? I'm kind of into this being a yaoi game, to be honest.
That's what you want? I mean...
Kind of. We could go they, them, though. I'm cool with, like, whatever.
I kind of like she, her, but we can do whatever you like.
I mean, if you want to do she, her, we can. I'm cool with any.
Let's do she, her. Yeah?
Alrighty. Sure.
Alright, so you're doing narration?
Began... Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay.
This world began to unravel long before you were born. It began with fogfall. Spectral mist bled from the seams where reality wore so thin it split. And from that fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intelligence, others were mindless beasts driven by little more than desire to slaughter. As cities fell and unrest spread, humans united in their fear while monsters thrived in the chaos. And then there's you. You're not even sure if you're human. You were born cursed, with hands that alter the minds of anyone you touch. Choose your backstory. Ooh, choosing a backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Character creation.
Do you want to read these aloud for us?
You take these. I'm going to be reading a bunch, I feel.
Okay. The Unnamed, a fallen oracle. You were raised as an oracle in the remote temple. The priests claimed your touch bestowed enlightenment, but a visiting mage revealed your curse for what it is.
I hate this one already.
Following the mage's word, you fled in search of cenobium. You regularly experience unnatural premonitions that rattle your body and soul. An innate sixth sense gives you a heightened awareness of hidden supernatural presences around you.
Nah.
You don't want to come from the, the circle?
No, I don't.
The Hound, a forsaken thief. You were raised by society's outcasts, criminals who accepted you when nobody else would. Your partner in crime, a friend since childhood, helped you steal enough money for a cure, then betrayed you. They left you with only enough coin to travel to Cenobian, your last hope. You have sharply honed social intuition. You can survive, even thrive in the violent underbelly of any city, using your experience with the underworld to get ahead. The Alchemist, an abandoned mage. An exiled Cenobian mage took you in as a child, raising you as her apprentice. She seemed to take pity on you, your curse, but you discovered that she was cultivating you as a test subject. You fled to Cenobium seeking a cure. You are an experienced spellcaster with encyclopedic knowledge of alchemy, spellcraft, and history. With a little observation, you can identify the subtle effects of magic. Alright, do we want to be a full metal alchemist, a thief?
I'm torn. What do you think?
I mean, I like thief quite a bit, but I'm good with either.
Yeah, I'm good with thief.
Okay,
Also, I have my window open. Let me know if you can hear it and I'll close it.
I cannot.
Your name is Valrin. You selected she, her pronouns. Your backstory is the Hound. Is this correct? The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death, the ever-present stench of decay, and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seeds across the barren land. I could say death doesn't scare me, but to tell the truth, I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I joined a caravan bound across the wastes. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial in itself. As rations grew sparse and my canteen ran dry, I began to despair, but then I saw it. Iridia, the city of knowledge, one of the last bastions of humanity left in the world and home to the famous academy of the Cenobium. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. Wait, wasn't that the other backstory? Oh no, wait, we're cursed in all of them.
Yeah, we're cursed in all of them.
I only remembered it in the last one. All that stands between me and a cure is a final stretch of salt-soaked wastes, or so I think until I see the first tendrils of fog sneaking beneath the wagon. Is this fog hall? My stomach sinks at the very whisper of it. A silent storm more devastating than fire. Dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. Fogfall, not fog hall. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us, smothering out the lantern's light. The wagon lurches to a stop. An eerie silence, heavy as the mist falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. Stay back! No? I don't know who this is. The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. Then the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard, the air punched from my lungs. When I open my eyes, adrenaline lends sudden, awful clarity to the carnage around me. A traitor I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strings of torn muscle, gleaming gristle, and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. Ooh. I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain so blinding. White blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes adjust do I see the dark shape in front of me. A soulless stoops over the twisted form of the caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twist in my direction and blink as one. The soulless lets out an ear-splitting shriek and runs at me. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist distantly. A horse screams in the dark. I need to move now. Run for the city. I take off, running deeper into the haze. The fog is so thick that I fear I'm headed in the wrong direction until I see a dim pinprick of light emanating from the shadow of a spire. It's faint, but it's enough. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source. But the fog fall twists and stretches out. I'm sorry, every time I see a word like opaque or something, all I can think of is if Oren were here. Opaku.
Opaku.
Or like trying to sound it out with him.
Yeah. I love words like opaque. They're some of my favorite
I love
words.
Words like opaque. Suddenly, the caravan's driver busts forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too late. He slams into me, knocking me to the ground, and slips in a patch of mud. The soulless falls on him as soon as he slows.
Hot.
It catches the driver by his throat and rakes his stomach with with razor-sharp claws.
Hot.
He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intestines and viscera in a steaming tide. Fighting the urge to heave, I claw frantically through the slippery muck for a handhold. I also just need a good handhold. Shit. My hand catches on the jagged edge of a rib jutting up from the water. Bandages unfurl around the gouge, torn deep into my palm. The pain's quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist.
Can you stand?
Okay. One of the travelers from the caravan leads over me.
We need to run.
They reach for my hand, and I realize too late that my bandages have come undone. No, don't touch me! The sensation of their thumb brushing the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, the curse takes hold. Ah! Their lips peel back into a deranged grin. No, I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse, madness of my own making. Cool curse. Their grip on my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me go. Suddenly, clammy hands crush my throat, choking off my breath.
Die! 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 Die!
Spit bubbles at the corner of their mouth and flecks my face. The edges of my vision darken as my lungs scream for air. Fight them off, I don't think anyone's around. My nails gouge deep into the traveler's wrist, but no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. The more I struggle, the tighter their grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowing with each thudding breath. Beat. This can't be happening. I'm going to die. And not because of the fogfall or the solace, but because of my own curse. Tears sting my eyes. No, 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 not here, not like this. The hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cough. My vision clears and the traveler's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine, lips still split in that macabre smile, even as blood seeps between their teeth. They give one last shuddering breath, then slump over the claws hooked through their stomach. The soulless shoves the body aside, and the glowing eyes shutting its leathery skin thin as though grinning. Study. There's a flash of claws, red spill across my vision. I thought there'd be pain, but as I sink into the murky water, all I can feel is the grit of silt filling my mouth and the icy embrace of shallow water. I like the writing of this game a lot.
I do too. It's really pleasant.
Really? Well, oh my god, it's like so intelligently written
Yeah.
for like a dating sim.
Yeah. I knew that it would be really good and dark, but I'm very impressed. Let's
The
go ahead and
description, the
yeah.
description is really good. It's very accurate without seeming like overwritten.
Yeah, like none of this comes off as like edgy or like, trying
Yeah,
too hard.
yeah, like it doesn't come off as like, like first year writing student trying to flex. It comes off as just like very natural and like very nice to read.
Mm-hmm.
Distantly, I notice an arm resting among an outcrop of reeds, mine neatly severed at the elbow. Yeesh. Should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. I think we picked a bad option. Instead, I'll die cold, alone, and face down in a desolate wasteland. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. Wow. If this is death, it's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror, nothing at all. The thought has a terrible appeal to it. But the next moment, I take a reflexive breath, air pours into my lungs, then out again in a ragged gasp. Feeling comes flooding back. Warm cloth on my bare skin, a firm surface beneath me, a strange tang of sulfur in the air.
Do not be afraid.
I twist my head toward the voice. Tears flood my bleary vision at the bright glow of lamplight. Bright glow, oh my god, I can't read.
Try not to move.
The voice is calm, steady, and commanding, but more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy. Stay away from me. My words come out in little more than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound.
No.
No? Who the hell is this? Sit up. I manage to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims, and my surroundings give an alarming lurch.
Ah, a stubborn patient.
I don't have the strength to dignify that with a response. Instead, I pull the sheet up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. The stranger towers over my prone form. Warm light reflects off his pristine medical coat. I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I notice that I'm completely naked except for a thin linen sheet. Naked, lying on a low cot, with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move, the man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged hands. I plunge my hands under the sheet to hide them from sight, though it's too late. He must have noticed what they look like. Strange, cursed, inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable suspicion and disgust, but his expression doesn't even flicker from that courteous smile. He just watches in a placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you?
Be calm. You are safe here.
Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I've never been safe anywhere with anyone. The only people I ever trusted betrayed me for a fat purse of coin. I scowl, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sigh rustles the paper in his hands.
I see you are not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements.
With a soft creak, he stands from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. I seem to be in some sort of medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemical concoctions line the counters in neat rows. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke and something distinctly metallic that I can't quite place. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot. He's easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck to look at him. I would say thank you. I should be polite if I can, especially since I don't know who this is, what he can do, or what he wants with me. Thank you.
You are welcome. I will leave you to get dressed.
With a curt nod, he leaves through a narrow door. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. I count to 3 in the sudden silence. When I don't hear any footsteps, I reach out for the bundle of clothes. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub at it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. I know what I saw. That beast took my arm clean off. And yet, my arm shows no sign of injury apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. Yo, we're Dobby from My Hero Academia. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race at the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, gasping out my last breaths. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dreams to unravel, to wake up bleeding out in the swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by and my arm remains resolutely healed, my surroundings pristine and quiet. I love how I said it and then I tripped over it after I said it.
Yeah.
In numb disbelief, I reach for the replacement clothes and begin stiflingly pulling them on. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, with a black woolen cloak to go with them. But there's one thing still missing, my bandages. The golden-eyed man didn't leave me with any, even though I know he saw my hands. I slide off the bed and take a few unsteady steps towards the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. I start opening drawers at random, and of course, that's when the door swings open once more.
Are you looking for something?
I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my legs bump against the edge of the cot.
Your caution is understandable, though if I meant you any harm, you would know.
That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but he makes no move toward me, so I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and mottled skin disappear under a layer of clean white cotton.
May I ask why you need additional bandages?
I clench my jaw. I knew it would only be a matter of time before he asked about my hands, though the way he does, it is strangely roundabout.
I like that he has a little heart on his chest.
Wait, I don't... Oh, he does.
He has a heart on his chest. He has golden eyes. I'm in.
Yo. Say nothing and decline to answer are basically the same things, right? Like,
Well, a
maybe
decline
say
would be to
nothing.
verbally
I
decline.
guess.
Glare at him is just rude.
Glare at him is just rude. I'm down for either say nothing or decline to answer.
Let's decline. He's a shrewd question grants a shrewd response.
Well, that's a very personal question, and I don't really want to answer.
Is that so? Surely you realize that I can only help if you tell me what ails you.
An involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? What would he even believe me if I told him? No, best to keep my curse to myself for now and learn more about him first.
Let's do it. They said save often, so.
Who are you?
You may call me Curas.
And where exactly am I?
Iridia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go.
Iridia. So I made it to the City of Knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increasing unease. How did I end up here?
I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were the only survivor from the caravan. Barely clinging to life, you needed immediate treatment.
Which you provided?
Yes.
He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child and he's explaining basic addition to me.
I fucking love him. Also, I feel bad with how much you have to voice, and I'm only getting a line every now and then. It'll pick up eventually where it equals out, but
pick
yeah.
up, I'm sure. We may just want to switch main characters when like doing one of the characters I'm voicing when we play the actual game, or it's gonna be ridiculous.
Maybe.
I frown and flex the fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit stiff, it feels fine, thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on?
Pardon?
A Solus attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clean off. But when I woke up here, I trailed off, bewildered. I've never heard of any magic that could heal a mortal wound like that. What kind of person could do such a thing? The doctor, Kuros, pinches the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time.
I do not know where you come from, but Iridia is the city of knowledge and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and it is most unwise to give or receive it freely. Since you have refused to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name.
I was just...
You are new to Iridia, so I will overlook this specific breach of etiquette. However, you should not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Do you understand?
He looks pointedly at my freshly bandaged hands. Loath though I am to admit it, he has a point. I'm also a complete stranger to him, and if he's telling the truth, he saved my life. I take a deep breath. I take a deep, steadying breath. This time when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Valrin. My name is Valrin.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Valrin.
There's a little more warmth in his smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. Aw, he's a nice smile. Thank you, yeah? Thank you for saving my life. I chance a smile in his return. Even if he won't explain how he did the impossible, there's no doubt in my mind that I'd be dead if not for Kiras.
Think nothing of it.
I'm not sure if he's just being excessively courteous, but his words only raise more urgent questions. But I have to ask, why did you save me? You don't know me. The question seemed to startle Kiras.
I could hardly leave you to die in the wastes. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty.
I've never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. Is it hearts? I try not to think about what kind of price Kiras might ask for such well-made clothes.
Your heart. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely come across so fascinating a patient.
I blink. What did he just say?
I simply meant that few would cling to life so resolutely, or brave such perilous journey to Iridia. I could not help being curious about you, Valrin.
His voice dips to a soft murmur, and he abruptly looks away from me. You know, it's funny, because Valorant was just like a little stupid mesh of our names, but it's actually grown on me, and it kind of fits the game's vibe.
It does. It's
Valorant,
a nice name.
Like it's a nice name. We've got a good ship name.
Got a good name. Our cursed child. Also,
our cursed child.
I would like to point out he has very few legible notes. The only one is a heart over here. An actual human heart written on the little box to his right, our left.
Wait, where? What?
His right, our left, little box. Yeah. Nothing much is here. Nothing much here is legible, but that is.
Yeah. You're pretty curious yourself. Woo. Woo. And then he drops us back in the waste where we belong. You're pretty curious yourself. Woo.
Am I?
Please don't leave me. Oh, I haven't forgotten about my eyes.
Okay, do it again.
I'm still smiling. Well, give me a second. Now I feel so much. Well, okay, hold on. Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm. I wiggle my intact fingers at him.
You wiggling your fingers? Clearly not.
But you haven't asked me for any payments either.
I require none from you. Travelers do not have an abundance of coin, and it would be unethical to leave you destitute in a strange place.
I fall silent, unsure what to say. Nobody would help a horror like me for free. There has to be some kind of catch or trick, right? A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else.
Duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient today.
The knocking grows more insistent, and Kiras lets out a tired sigh.
Please wait your turn.
Though he says it quietly, the clamor on the other side of the door abruptly stops.
Do you need anything before you leave, Valrin?
Oh. Between the soulless attack and my miraculous survival, I'd almost forgotten why I came to Iridia in the first place. I need directions to the cenobium.
The cenobium?
The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation when he speaks again.
Whatever you seek, it is very unlikely you will find it there. the Cenobium's gates open for precious few visitors. Even if they did, you would not like what you found inside.
My heart sinks. Is he saying I came all this way for nothing? Oh my god, risked life and limb for nothing? No, that can't be. I've only just arrived, and Iridia is the largest city and still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then, if not the Cenobium, where would you suggest?
Do you know anyone else in Iridia?
I shake my head.
Then I suggest a local guide. Head to the Wet Wick and ask for Leander.
Excuse me? The what?
The Wet Wick.
He sounds deeply unamused.
Follow the postings advertising Leander's bloodhounds. They are difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you.
That isn't much to go on, but Kiras points towards the clinic's back door.
You will be safe so long as you do not draw attention to yourself.
That's easier said than done. I've always been a magnet for the worst sorts of attention. Girl same.
If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish.
Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality in his words. Resigned to my dismissal, I slip out the back door. I find myself standing in a narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pull the new cloak over my nose, stepping over the contents of chamber pots that have been emptied into the streets. Something weighs heavily inside one of the cloak's pockets, my coin purse. Everything is still inside, every last coin that I'd scraped together from the journey to Iridia. It doesn't even look like it was opened. There were so few coins to begin with, they probably weren't worth stealing. I glance back at the clinic's closed door. Kiras didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that Iridia's secrets are power. In Iridia. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Kiras gave me a second chance, and a lead on where I might find help.
Hang on before that line. I'm going to come down just a little on the music, because this one kind of gets a little boisterous. A little bit more. I hear no change. What? Odd. Hopefully that helps.
Odd. I'd better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out of the alley and into the crowded main street. The line outside of Kiras's clinic stretches the road already. Two thin peddlers queue alongside weathered elders. If any place is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherously rough under my feet, deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. I knew Iridia was a river city, but I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings are tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in narrow streets. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried food drifts over me. My stomach gives a faint gurgle.
A child.
A child.
This morning's catch. Fried up, hot and fresh. Not too many eyeballs today.
That sounds disgusting, but I'm starving, so I duck my head under the stall's grubby awning. A large fish leers up at me, its three bulging eyes still visible through the thick layer of crispy batter. The vendor gives me a gap-toothed grin. What's the cheapest thing you've got? The vendor points at the metal basket of what looks like long strips of savory fried dough.
Fresh long lads, 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth.
I take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I might not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. 2 streets later, I pass under a wrought iron archway adorned with dangling garlands of red and pink lilies. The buildings in this quarter are a dizzying riot of colors, painted walls and tinted glass everywhere I look. Sheer red and pink curtains flutter in open doorways, musical voices call out invitingly, incense mingles with the pungent scent of flowers, barely covering the salt and musk of warm bodies. This must be Iridia's entertainment district. I'm polishing off my food and dusting crumbs from my hands when I spot a poster. Why does it both of us post? No. It features the silhouette of a smiling man wearing a single dagger-like earring and the word Bloodhounds printed above his head. A motto, as above, so below, circles the artwork. If Leander is the leader of the Bloodhounds, then the face printed on the poster is likely his. I follow the line of identical posters around a corner and nearly hit my head on precariously dangling wooden sign. Looking up, faded orange letters read, "The Wet Wick." The facade of the building looks like it's seen better days, but I hear faint music and laughter coming from inside. The inside of the bar is a far cry from the abandoned exterior. It's not even midday yet. Most of the tables and booths are occupied by a loose assembly of people in matching green cloaks. There's a lot you can tell about a city by its dives. This one seems ordinary enough, even if the uniforms are unusual. A cursory glance doesn't turn up anyone with a dagger-shaped earring. I'm about to head towards the counter when a chant rises from the center of the room.
Show! Show!
Oh, show! The remaining green cloaks abandon the bar and their booths to rush towards the center of the room in a sudden torrent. There's no time to move out of the way. I'm caught swept along the ale-stenched current. Hey! Rhythmic chanting drowns out my voice. I thrash, throwing out my elbows as the press of bodies grows heavier. Man, every mosh pit. My hip knocks into a table. I grip it, holding on tight to steady myself, but the crowd is stilled. The chanting stopped. A pair of gilded boots stride across the tabletop.
Oh, is it gonna be the fox?
Ooh.
No.
Nope.
Seriously, you dogs? Again?
Scattered laughter and cheers rise from the audience. I drag my eyes upwards. I already know this is Worst Boy. I don't know why. Although, I do like that in this... I do like this CG of him. He looks like a comic book character in the CG. He reminds me of, like...
Yeah, it reminds me of Red Hood.
A little... Yeah, I was about to say Jason Todd, but I didn't want to say...
Yeah.
I think it's because I'm
it's the lighting on that hair there that looks white.
The white streak. Yeah. Then he's got like the Robin pretty boy.
Yeah, you say Worst Boy, but I look at him like, oh, he might be a pretty good boy.
Yeah, I mean, the CG's making me rethink things, but he's the one that interests me the least.
Made you act up.
Yeah. A well-dressed man stands on the table in front of me, his broad shoulders framed by the thick lapels of a stretched coat. Trench coat.
There's that very handsome boy in front of you. It's completely understandable.
Alrighty.
This really is the last time, alright?
I'm not looking at the words anymore. This time when he speaks, the audience falls silent, as though bewitched by his magnetic presence or rich, low voice.
Rich, low voice. I don't know that I'm doing that. Also, yeah, that's what he looks like fully. Come back. Come back.
Come back.
It's supposed to come back. It said that
no.
It said when I click it, it would come back. Okay. All right.
Okay. Ooh.
Put a little terror into me. All right. Rich, low voice. Okay.
But nothing is as captivating as his smile. He beams at the crowd around him, a performer on his makeshift stage.
Don't blink, or you'll miss it.
He laughs, and the dagger-shaped earring dangling from his left ear catches the light in a flash of gold. It would seem I found the Leander. Leander, not the Leander. He raises his hand above the audience and snaps. I can't snap. A flash of pale green light, real magic. No ordinary stage trick blinds me. As the brilliance ebbs, my gaze refocuses on the mage towering above me. He flicks his wrist, and the magic spiraling around him coalesces. A delicate flower stem sprouts from between his pinched fingers. One by one, glowing lily petals spring forth. With a flourish, the mage presents the conjured flowers. The audience bursts into clapping and cheers. A genuine magic show was the last thing I expected from a place called the Wet Wick. Leander plucks the iridescent bouquet out of the air and turns in a slow circle, giving his audience a good look.
Now, who could use some good luck?
Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table. Some reach for the lilies, while others whistle and call Leander's name. But his cool green eyes slide right over them, locking on me instead.
How about you?
My chest tightens. Every person gathered turns to stare at me. Take the flowers. I reach out, all too aware. I don't think I've had this passionate opinion of a decision yet. Just take the flowers, take them. I reach out, all too aware of the way my fingers tremble as I carefully take the flowers from him. There's no weight to them, only a faint warmth that radiates from the stems. As soon as the flowers leave Leander's hand, their light dims, they fade away in a shower of opalescent light. To my surprise, Leander laughs under his breath. I love the vocabulary in this game. It's so good.
I know, right? It's so well written.
It's so better than any dating sim I've played.
It's like
it's just so nice.
Such delicate, thoughtful writing is like incredibly hot. It makes the whole rest of the game hotter.
Yeah, I'm like fangirling over the writer of this game right now.
Yeah. And like
I'm gonna be like looking up if they have any other game projects.
Gonna be looking up to see if they've written any smut.
Yeah. Maybe.
That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long, but they leave an impression, right?
He grins at me, and I find myself smiling back. Leander steps off of the table, dropping among the excited crowd with an audible clink.
All right, bloodhounds, get back to your drinks. Show's over.
The green cloaks disperse at his command, returning to their tables and booths.
Ooh, the animation on his eyes was very nice.
I find him more attractive when he's looking away, though. Before I can make my way towards Leander, his eyes find me. He gives me a friendly wave, then beckons me over to the crowded counter. I manage to squeeze beside him, but there's so little room that his broad shoulders presses against mine. I tense, but he doesn't seem to mind at all.
Is this your first time in Iridia?
He says it lightly, with a genuine air of curiosity. Do I stick out that much?
No, but I'm certain I'd remember seeing a face as lovely as yours around Lowtown.
My eyes flicker to the polished countertop. I'm not used to flattery, and being this close makes eye contact difficult. As if on cue, the bartender approaches us.
What can I get you? Surprise me, and add anything my friend wants to my tab.
I wasn't expecting the generosity. I'm gonna close my window one sec.
I love this guy. This guy's great. What a charming fellow. I worry that I'm not doing a good enough voice for him, but I'm trying. I love how the aesthetics of this place are almost Middle Eastern in some ways. Like that lamp feels almost Middle Eastern, and a lot of the scenery outdoors did too. And you see a lot of these kind of star-like patterns come up, like the in-betweens of that liquor shelf. It's really interesting. And you see that same pattern on his trench coat as well. Oh, just making conversation, which can either be cut or included.
Oh,
you know.
I see. I wasn't expecting the generosity, but I have to admit, I do feel a little thirsty after all that fried dough. Bet you feel a little thirsty.
I'm a thirsty little flower.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm a thirsty little flower. I'll have what he's having. Yeah, I'll have what he's having. I'll have what he's having. While the bartender leaves to fix our drinks, Leander leans his elbow on the counter. I'm close enough to notice the purple shadows under his lower lids. His eyes wander over me in return, but when they lock on my bandaged hands, a sour taste rises in my throat. Here come the questions.
So, what brings you to the Wick?
Kiros sent me. He pushes his hair back from his forehead, but it immediately falls right back into place.
So, it's about work.
Who says we can't mix work and pleasure? The bartender returns with a pair of glasses filled with what I can only assume is beer. No, I hate beer! I raise my glass and give it an experimental sniff. It smells faintly yeasty. I'm allergic to brewer's yeast, but with an undercurrent. I don't know what that means. I can't quite place. Oh, undercurrent. I'm stupid. I completely forgot the context of what I was reading. I'm like, oh, right. Fucking scents and beer.
Uh-huh.
A quick sip confirms my worst suspicions. It's awful. Somehow briny and sour in a way that reminds me of pickles.
I like pickles.
I like pickles. Packles. But any thought of complaining dies the moment I look up and see Leander taking a deep swig from his glass. He lets out a satisfied breath.
How can I be of assistance?
I need to get to the cenobium. As soon as the word cenobium leaves my mouth, the entire bar falls silent. Bloodhounds twist around in their seats to gawk openly. Finally, an especially drunk one speaks up.
The hell are you bringing up the cenobium in here? Throw him out! This is Bloodhound territory!
Vitriol catches me off guard. From the angry looks thrown my way, it's clear I've broken some unspoken rule just by mentioning the cenobium. When I glance at Leander, he's drinking, as though he hasn't noticed the uproar. Only when he catches me looking does he lower his glass.
For the love of...
He drags a hand down his face.
Hey, keep it down, will you? This is business.
I tense, expecting an argument, but the outspoken bloodhounds silently return to their drinks. Only a handful continue to watch me warily.
Sorry about them. The cenobium's a bit of a touchy subject in these parts. Mix in enough drinks, and, well, you saw. How about we continue this outside?
When I give him a terse nod, he pushes away from the bar counter. I follow Leander to an alleyway tucked behind the wet wick where layers of frayed bloodhounds posters have been plastered to the walls. Seeing them side by side, the resemblance between Leander and his likeness on the posters is impressive.
I like him looking dead on. He looks better this way.
He looks cocky, which is nice.
Kiris didn't send you here for help with the cenobium, did he?
From the look he gives me, he already knows the answer. I glance away. No, he didn't. He suggested I find an alternative.
Yet here you are, asking about them anyway. What do you need the cenobium for?
I don't want to tell him about my curse. The less people know about my capabilities, the better. Thankfully, Leander takes my reluctant silence as an answer.
Well, I see you're already aware of the city's currency, information, worth its weight in gold here. Kiris told you the truth. The cenobium's dangerous. Get on their bad side and they'll imprison you if you're lucky, or torture you if you're not.
But the cenobium's supposed to be a place of learning, a sanctuary. The cenobium has always been heralded as the last bastion of human knowledge, a shining beacon of hope in a world steeped in nightmares. If any place held answers, it would be the cenobium. That's why I came here.
That's what they want you to think, but things... That's what they want you to think, but things that seem too good to be true are often just that.
Such a simple statement, and yet it leaves me reeling. If it's true, if I staked everything on a lie, then what now? Leander clears his throat.
But as always... but as I always say, these sorry. But
No,
as I
it's fair.
always...
Once you mess up once, it's hard.
But as I always say, there's solutions to every problem, and alternatives to every solution.
He claps his hands and turns to me with a brilliant smile.
That's why Kiris pointed you to the Bloodhounds. Let us help you, whether it's hunting Solus, finding people, or recovering stolen valuables. We can do it all, and free of charge.
I'm shaking my head before he's even finished his practice speech. My patience is wearing dangerously thin. Listen, I appreciate the offer, but my problems can't be solved by a group of good Samaritans. To my chagrin, Leander nods slowly.
Then your problem must be fairly serious, and if the cenobium's your first choice, you are searching for a magical solution, aren't you?
When my eyes widen, he nods along as though he suspected all along.
I'd be happy to help you out, that is, if you'll tell me what ails you.
Leander might not work for the cenobium, but he is a mage, and a powerful one at that, if his demonstration earlier is any indication. I'm silent, plagued by indecision. I don't know if I can trust him, but it's not like I have any alternatives. I hate to admit it, but this could be my only path forward. My confession comes out in a pained whisper. I'm cursed.
Cursed? Oh, now I'm very curious. What kind of curse? Something ancestral or recent?
He looks me up and down, taking in my face, my eyes, and finally my hands.
It's your hands, isn't it?
I wait until I'm certain my voice will remain steady before answering. My touch is dangerous. It changes people, hurts them. Before I've even finished, Leander begins taking his glove off. He tugs his left hand free and flexes his fingers.
Let's see it.
He offers me his hand, and a prismatic flash of magic ripples across his palm, but I'm already shrinking backwards. I almost read that as shrimping backwards. Fucking Twitch has ruined me. I can't. I don't care how confident Leander is. I can't bring myself to hurt him, to see his kind face twist into a mask of madness. Believe me, this isn't an ordinary curse.
I'll be fine. Perhaps where you came from, your affliction was strange and one of a kind. But spend a year in this city and you'll see 1,000 curses. Thrice as many curses. Do you really think Curus would send you here if I couldn't handle it?
How should I know? I only just met him today.
I'm as good as any mage in the Cenobium. Better, even. If they can help, so can I.
You don't know what you're asking me.
I'm asking you to trust me.
I look from Leander's outstretched hand to his confident smile. Then, with a short breath, I begin unwinding the bandages from my hand. Fine. But if you lose control, don't say I didn't warn you.
You can tie me up first if it makes you feel better.
The heavy blush he had. Ooh, alrighty. So he gives like the biggest switch energy.
Yeah.
With each joint I expose, I grow more and more certain that this is a terrible idea.
Ready when you are.
If he's bothered by the way my hand looks, he doesn't show it. My fingers hover shakily over his palm. 3, 2, 1. Touch him.
Touch me.
Touch me. Touch me hard. I tap his palm once as quickly as possible. It's barely more than a brush, but that's all it ever takes. When I look at his face, expecting to see the worst, Leander only grins.
See?
It can't be. This time, when I reach out to touch Leander's palm again, he catches my wrist before I can pull away.
I told you, there's really nothing to worry about.
The blush. He trails off when my thumb brushes the soft skin of his inner wrist. I search Leander's face for traces of madness, but his eyes remain a clear, soft green. Color rises in his cheeks, but he remains still except for the subtle bobbing of his throat. Neither of us speak as I trace the contours of Leander's palm, lost in an awareness I wasn't prepared for. I've been with other people, kissed them, been embraced by them, and more, but not like this. My fingers, long deprived by years of bandaging, pick up every single detail, the grooves of his palm, the smooth shell of his nails, the pulse of his heart.
That's why it's called Touchstarved.
Oh yeah.
I get it now. Okay.
I get it.
It's clever.
Clever. For as long as I've lived, I've never been able to hold someone's hand, not without dire consequences. I never realized what I was missing until this moment.
I'm sorry, I didn't see the sexual content warning on this game, and we are hand-holding?
We are hand-holding? This is not okay. This is lewd. Leander's pulse is steady, mine is hammering as fear gives way to excitement. Keep touching him. My hand glides over Leander's wrist and up his forearm where smooth skin abruptly gives way to the raised scars by the edge of his sleeve. It matches the one that runs from his collar to cheekbone. Could it be the same wound? I glance at Leander's face and his lips part as he considers his words before speaking.
Am I the first person you've been able to touch like this?
My hand goes still on his arm. So far.
I'll admit, your touch does make it somewhat difficult to stay level-headed, but not due to your power.
He takes my hand, his soft green eyes flick to mine before he turns it to inspect the golden fissures crisscrossing my knuckles.
Look, we match.
He points at a golden pin on his coat collar, and I give him a small smile. I draw my hand back and take a steadying breath. My head feels as though it's been stuffed with cotton. Habit alone guides me through the motions of rewrapping my hands, although my fingers tremble too much for the bandages to lie flat. I can't believe it worked.
May I ask your name?
I'm Valren.
You are right to hide this from me, Valren. That curse of yours it's unlike anything I've dealt with. I can tell you're discreet, but you best not go showing that off to anyone else.
I didn't plan on it.
Are you staying in Lowtown?
I pause. Room and board was something I hadn't yet considered. I don't know.
Let's get you properly settled then.
The wet wick is noticeably quieter. Without their leader, most of the bloodhounds have dispersed, or in a few cases, fallen asleep behind their drinks.
Got any rooms left? Or did my lot grab them all to sleep it off?
1 sec. Sun was coming in through my curtains and I am a vampire. The bartender, who I now realize doubles as an innkeeper, slides a key onto the counter.
You know I always keep the corner room open for your escapades.
Leander's laugh sounds slightly strained.
And I always appreciate it. But you're mistaken. This is just for my friend Valren.
Just a friend.
Sure. Stay as long as you like. You two have fun.
Escapades, huh? Leander clears his throat, then holds the key out to me. But I hesitate. My coin purse barely holds enough for a day's worth of meals, let alone a room. How much do I owe you?
Nothing. Bloodhound rates. My treat, since you shared your secret. Food, drink, a warm bed, anything you need.
Carefully, I take the key from him. It's small, but weighs heavy in my palm. I never expected to have a warm bed in Iridia, let alone free meals. I planned to steal whatever I needed to get by, no matter how dangerous. Thank you.
Go explore, Valren. You'll find many roads in Iridia, each leading to different answers. But if you need a reprieve from what haunts you, come find me. Just be careful.
I nod, taking one last look at the gleaming bronze key before tucking it into the pocket of my cloak for safekeeping. Leander gives me one last friendly wave before I depart. The air clings sodden and heavy. Without the morning crowd, the sunless streets look barren and bleak. Good alliteration. Even the peddlers even the peddlers are long gone. Only a pair of crowds remain quibbling over stale crusts in a gutter. I feel I feel a ridiculous pang of envy.
This is how I want to speak. Like this is the level at which I want to present myself verbally. And
This
yet
is
I fall short.
yeah, this is goals.
In my defense, it's very hard to speak very detailed when everyone else around you is like, "Hey, yo, Pog."
For real, for real. Oh god. What happened?
Wow.
What happened? At least they've got reason to fight. I've never felt so lost. Kiras and Leander both made it clear that the cenobium can't be trusted, but I came so far, endured so much. I need to see the cenobium for myself, if only to satisfy my curiosity. I should have asked someone at the bar for directions before leaving. I'm about to turn back when a shadow passes over me.
Oh no. It's probably men.
A cloud, I think, until a puff of hot breath tickles the back of my neck. The shadow runs down the street. Oh, probably either just a monster or the fox boy.
Mm-hmm.
The shadow runs down the street in rivulets. I actually don't know that word. Rivulets. It's probably rivulets. Formless dark spreads like ink into blotted shapes. Claws stretch, a muzzle split open to reveal long, jagged teeth. A growl rumbles so low and deep I feel it. I want to run, to scream, but I feel trapped, as though the slightest movement or a single breath will snap the jaws around me shut. No, I won't let it end like this. If I'm going to die, I want to see what got me first. I steel myself, then turn. The shadow vanishes as quickly as it came. I'm left standing in the middle of the street, alone except for a figure reclining in the shade of a nearby stoop. Yeah, a monster. That much is clear from a glance. One that could nearly be mistaken for human were it not for the tufted ears, the tail curled around its ankle.
This music's gonna make me lose it all.
Why?
It's so good.
Oh, I need to turn it up a little.
I'll come up a little too.
No, I had it really low. Ooh, this is good music. Or the dusk pink eyes, but with pupils that sharpen like needles when they fall on me. Our eyes meet, and the monster uncrosses his long legs. His hair gleams a shade of red that reminds me unsettlingly of blood where it curls around his collared throat. Jumpy, aren't you? His tone is so light and carefree that I glance over my shoulder to make sure he's speaking to me. When I look back, the stranger props his chin on his knuckles and regards me with an inscrutable little smile. Didn't you see the shadow just now? It was massive, moved like a beast. Even as I speak, I'm aware how ridiculous I must sound, but the stranger's smile doesn't falter. The only beast I've seen are the Wick's drooling regulars, though this did catch my eye. With a flourish of his hand, my in-room key appears dangling from his fingers. It turns on its chain, glittering when it catches the light.
Oh my goodness.
He is so fine.
That thigh.
What that thigh do? My hands fly to my cloak's pocket, and sure enough, find them flat. He crooks his finger, beckoning. I've already taken 2 steps forward before some stifled instinct stops me. Something feels wrong. I'm still on edge, thrumming with so much adrenaline, but the stranger's shadow flickers at the edges of my vision. I always attract the worst kind of attention, but I can't get rattled now. That's where did you find it? How'd you even find it? The key, I mean. What can I say? I'm a sucker for shiny things. He smiles wide enough to reveal pointed canines. I saw you drop it. You really should be more careful. City like this, somebody might take advantage. A bald-faced lie said without a hint of irony. I can't figure out how he picked my pockets under my nose, but I'm certain he took my key, and I need it back. I approach the man, careful to keep an arm's length away. He doesn't look dangerous, but the most deadly ones never do. The stranger's chain softly clinks with the tilt of his head. His ears flick. Keeping your distance. Until I figure out how you managed to rob me? Yeah, I am. You think I stole your dinky little key from all the way over here? He gives an exaggerated sigh. I'm good with my hands, but not that good. Do I really look like a common thief to you? He's got me there. The sheer fabric of his sleeves alone would be too expensive for most street thieves. Hell, his shoes look like they cost more than I spent traveling here. And then there's the shop behind him. No matter the city, parted pink curtains only ever means one thing. I'm not looking to buy, and I doubt I could afford your services anyway. Luckily for you, I don't charge. The man runs the tip of his tongue over a fang, and for the first time since I stepped into the shadow, I feel something other than dread. Ooh, I've bet. My face grows hot. That's not what I meant. I'm flattered, really. Were sex my trade, I might make an exception for you. How about half off for a handy? Or you could just hand over my key. Ask nicely and I might even let you tug my tail. Just throw it here. So, some spindly little street urchin can snatch it and run. He raises my key and tilts his head so he can watch it dangle back and forth. I suppose I could just claim your room for myself. Not that I'd be caught dead slumming it in the wick with the rest of those slack-jawed imbeciles. You're obviously not from around here, so tell me, traveler. What misfortune brought you to this wretched place? His voice practically drips with derision. I'm not telling you anything. What could have possibly drawn you to this dreary little pig pen? I wonder. He listlessly watches the arc of my key swinging around his finger. The weather's shit, the food's dreck, and there's entirely too many monsters for a human to feel safe. Unless... Dagger-sharp eyes flick towards me. They gleam with amusement. Unless you're just dying to consort with monster. He's calling us a monster fucker.
Mm.
Calling us a monster fucker.
And he's right.
And he's fucking right. God damn. Let's fucking go. By now my embarrassment has worn away, leaving simmering impatience in its place. If this is a shakedown, it's the most frustrating one I've ever experienced.
Sexually frustrating.
Sexually frustrating. Flirt back, flirt back, flirt back. How'd you know that I spent all my money, starved and nearly died in a swamp, just so I could crawl into bed with the first thirsty monster I saw? That earns me a burst of breathy laughter. He gazes at me under his dark lashes. Aren't you funny? Could you be any more obvious? I've been told subtlety's not my strength. So, your place or mine? I'd invite you if I had my key. Let's go. If only I had my key, then I might be able to invite you up. His languid gaze glides from me to the key in his hand and back. Come, take my hand and we'll go together. The more he flirts, the more convinced I am that this is some kind of trap. No matter how innocent monsters look, they always have tricks up their sleeves. And something tells me that this one's more dangerous than he lets on, even if he has a lovely laugh. I don't know what you want or why you're messing with me, but I'm not coming any closer until I know you aren't going to attack or bite. I won't bite hard unless you beg me. No matter what I say, he finds a way to twist my words into innuendo. Even when I'm silent, he goes on as though we're having a conversation, not a standoff. Do you like dancing? There's a traveling troupe performing in Hightown. Oh, Hightown! Sorry, Dragon Age. There's a traveling troupe performing in Hightown tonight. Their lutist is utterly exquisite. Truly a performance to die for. There's life in this dreadful place, if you know where to look. You sound like you know the city well. The man's gaze flickers from me to the key dangling from his finger. Naturally, this dump was a little more than a miserable little smear when I first arrived. Hightown, Lowtown, I know Iridia like the back of my hand. What about the cenobium? Do you know where that is? His smile vanishes. Surely you've seen it. That absurdly large tower looming over the rest. It's a little hard to miss. He must mean the spire I noticed when I first caught sight in Iridia. The cenobium's overrated. Forget about it. I can show you things those scuffy boars in their limp dick tower could never dream of. I've already got plans.
I like that even though he's like a little crude and like, you know, using words that the others would not, he still comes off as very refined.
Yeah. Oh? Have you some pressing matters to attend at the cenobium? Lunch dates with librarians? Tea time with the most esteemed abbess? That's my business. What's it matter to you? I square my shoulders and the amusement bleeds out of him. Your loss. The stranger, finally bored of its tedious game, extends his hand towards me. The key rests on his palm, neatly dividing skin and leather. When he makes no other move, I reach for the key, but as soon as my fingers grate the smooth brass, his hand springs shut around my elbow. Hey! He yanks me down and I stagger, my soul slipping on the steps. For a sick moment, I fear my bandages will unravel under his touch, but he's careful not to disturb them, even as his fingers dig into my arm. I knew I smelled blood, you reek of death in the road. And that fucking doctor.
Hey, it's red text. We were told that that's important.
Hey. His voice, once silken, lowers to a smoky growl. The shadows around him seethe and boil as he pulls me closer. And something else. He murmurs against my throat, nose grazing my jaw. Let go! I try to twist away, but he doesn't budge. His breath trails down my neck, sending a thrill of dread through me. But just when I fear he'll bite, he takes a deep whiff instead. His wide, flat eyes gleam with naked hunger as he gazes upon me, up at me. Not quite human, not quite monster, seems Orbo.
There.
Probably you. The stranger's ears flatten, and he releases me with a short breath. I yank my arm back, massaging it where his grip left grooves in the bandages. The stranger twists around to watch a woman tuck out of the curtains behind him. Her pressed uniform bears the insignias of the Cenobium.
So it's a woman, so you should take it.
I leave you for all of what? 10 minutes? And you're making trouble again? Will you quit harassing the tourists? The stranger, there I take it, rolls his eyes and flashes the cleric a withering smile. So suspicious. Can't you see this is a friend of mine? A natural liar. He grins at me, his tail swishes minutely. The woman purses her lips at me, clearly unconvinced. I open my mouth to correct him, but Vare cuts in. I was graciously offering my dear friend some free advice. Though his voice remains light and cheerful, his expression darkens. Danger's drawn to you like a moth to flame. It will always find you, given time. The woman clucks her tongue as though she's heard this recital 102 times. Word of advice? Don't take free advice from lazy... I already forgot what voice I got him. Don't take free advice from lazy foxes lounging in the streets. This crook would sell water to a drowning man for sheer enjoyment of it.
It's pretty much the same voice.
Cool. She shrugs off a wilting look at from Vare. Oh, please. Any friend of yours knows it's true. No, hold still. Vare rises gracefully at her approach. He pushes his hair aside so it drapes over one shoulder, exposing the long line of his neck. And suddenly, it dawns on me that the jingling I heard earlier wasn't coming from the harness attached to his collar, but a leash. A heavy iron chain wound around a hitching post and padlocked to the back of his collar. Vare posed deliberately to hide his leash from me. The woman produces a keyring from her pocket. She rifles through a dozen identical keys before selecting one and slotting it into the lock. Come on, unless your friend's tagging along on our merry little solace hunt. They're hunting for solace inside the city. Words momentarily fail me. The woman regards me with a polite, if tight smile before marching down the stairs. Ver lingers. He stretches his arm over his head with a yawn, and I try not to stare at the way his stomach flattens when he arches his back. Your little secret's safe with me. Try not to get yourself killed, Ver hops off the stoop and bounds after the woman. His tail sways merrily, as though he hadn't just lied and threatened me. Did you try that thing I mentioned? The love. Why am I struggling with that? Laventian. The Laventian knot.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo, the knot.
The knot. Okay, I think
With
he
a
means like
fox.
bondage.
But he's a... Okay.
Yeah. That the one where you take 3 fingers and... Actually, don't tell me. Knowing you, it's disgusting.
Take 3 fingers.
Maybe, I mean...
What?
Bear's airy laughter echoed down from the streets. It's only after he and the cleric here have vanished from sight that I realize I'm still missing something. Wait. Reflexively, I shove my hands into my pocket and find it, the room key. I use the key from my pocket and smooth my thumb over its teeth as I try to recall a touch, a tell, or any hint of Ver's sleight of hand, but I can't figure out how he did it. All I know for certain is that the Cenobium saw fit to leash him, a fate I could share, if that's what his vague warning meant. I let my eyes drift skyward, past the lanterns gently swaying in the breeze to the Cenobium faintly visible through the haze. Just one glimpse is all I need, then I can put this all behind me. This time, the key goes into my coin purse for safekeeping.